The Q101 Morning Crew.
On Q101.
Brian and Kenzie on Q101. Yeah, just hearing that again, I fell into this little, in my head of how incredible Jack White was last year at Q101's Twisted Christmas. A lot of guitar solos, Kenzie. I know you love them.
Oh, my God. Guitars everywhere. So often they have more than one. And I'm like, wow.
Oh, yeah.
We love it. You get excited. You're like, there's 3 guitars here.
I can tell you, and Case can attest to this, you weren't here for it last year, of Jack White, me being so stoked about that, performing at Twisted. I took pictures of his pedal board that he was playing.
That's true.
Made him sound like Geppetto.
And, I mean, not one. I wanted to make sure I zoomed in several times from the balcony at the Aragon to get clear of his chain of effects for that song, especially Icky Thump. And because, maybe someday I want to buy those pedals and recreate it. It was a total nerd out moment having Jack White there last year. And incredible.
Good you have that saved for emergencies.
That's right.
Okay.
You're so much fun to watch music with. I love going to a concert with Brian, which everybody will have a shot to do at the Aragon this week. He's just like a little boy. It's like he's never... Every show is like your first concert, and I love it.
You're pretty on point on that.
I remember 2 years ago at Picnic, we were in Tinley Park, and the School of Rock kids opened up. And, Kinsey, these are, like they did this year. It's like 12 and 13-year-olds playing, in Tinley Park, big venue for them. Mm-hmm. And Brian's getting, antsy. He's scratching himself because he wanted to be on stage with those kids. It just hurt him that he wasn't the one performing.
It didn't. I wish School of Rock existed when I was that age so I could get on stage with some multiple big bands.
I've heard him have his School of Rock moments. Best idea ever!
Yeah.
Do you know what would happen with my life if this idea would happen? I used to hear about it all the time.
Can we set it up to where you have a backing band of 12 and 13-year-olds, but then you also play with School of Rock?
Then you would just be Jack Black.
I mean, I'd be up for all of that. I really would love to perform. No one's come to me. I've made it pretty obvious. I play guitar and I played in bands before, and no one's ever said, hey, maybe you should play at Twisted. I could get up and play one song, just one solo guitar solo maybe. I could do that.
What song would you play?
I would play Van Halen's Eruption.
That would be the one song.
Because it would just be me then, just soloing for 2 minutes. I don't want a bass player and drummer in there and a singer. I'd like to play, here's what I'd like to do, seriously. How about Green Day Basket Case? I'd love to just somebody get up there and I could play guitar with that. That's what I'd enjoy that.
That would be your number one.
Yep. Like Local H, know those guys very well. Maybe they'll let me come up and play a song with them.
Maybe. You could do the vocals for Basket Case, because you could pull off Billy Joe's range.
Yeah. Do you have the time?
I would leave.
The Q101 Morning Crew.
On Q101.
It's Brian and Kenzie on Q101, and it is time for Head to Headlines, where we read the headlines, and based on that alone, you choose which story you want to hear more about. It's your show. You decide the content. You just text in headline number 1 or headline number 2. Now, wait till the end after you hear them both, okay? So here we go. Headline number 1.
What do you got?
Man shocked to discover source of headaches for 5 months is a pair of chopsticks inside his skull.
That does not even make sense.
Well, that's why I got to hear more about it.
Why only 5 months?
We'll get there if you choose that one. So text in headline number 1 if you like that headline, or headline number 2. Feral goldfish are menacing Great Lakes. We're going to need a bigger bowl. Using the funny Jaws line there at the end of their thing. We're going to need a bigger boat.
Oh, it didn't land. I had questions about the bowl.
Yeah, going to need a bigger bowl. If you want to hear more about that story, text in headline number 2. Now, choose wisely, because we will never talk about the other story ever again. 312-591-8300. Text in headline number 1 or headline number 2. Here's Green Day without me singing.
The Q101 Morning Crew.
On Q101.
The Q101 Morning Crew.
On Q101.
It's Brian and Kenzie on Q101, and it is time for Head to Headlines, where we read the headlines, and based on that alone, you choose which story you want to hear more about. It's your show. You decide the content. You just text in headline number 1 or headline number 2. Now, wait till the end after you hear them both, okay? So here we go. Headline number 1.
What do you got?
Man shocked to discover source of headaches for 5 months is a pair of chopsticks inside his skull.
That does not even make sense.
Well, that's why I got to hear more about it.
Why only 5 months?
We'll get there if you choose that one. So text in headline number 1 if you like that headline, or headline number 2. Feral goldfish are menacing Great Lakes. We're going to need a bigger bowl. Using the funny Jaws line there at the end of their thing. We're going to need a bigger boat.
Oh, it didn't land. I had questions about the bowl.
Yeah, going to need a bigger bowl. If you want to hear more about that story, text in headline number 2. Now, choose wisely because we will never talk about the other story ever again. 312-591-8300. Text in headline number 1 or headline number 2.
The Q101 Morning Crew.
On Q101.
It's Brian and Kenzie on Q101. Head to headlines where you decide the content of what we talk about now based on the headline alone that we read you. We read you 2 of them just a minute ago. So both these came from Case the producer, by the way. Good job, Case, in finding these stories.
Thanks, Brian.
Here we go. So headline number 1 was, man shocked to discover source of headache for 5 months is pair of chopsticks inside his skull.
That'll do it.
Or headline number 2, feral goldfish are menacing Great Lakes. We're going to need a bigger bowl. Doing the Jaws line there.
It still doesn't hit the way I think it's supposed to.
I'm sure Case has not even seen Jaws.
Is this that they're in the Great Lakes?
Yes.
So they're not in a bowl.
I guess they're saying the lakes are kind of a...
They're not like
goldfish are usually...
Petco having an issue. Like, then okay, but it's like they're not in a bowl.
But the Great Lakes are Mother Nature's bowl when you think about it.
I guess maybe they're trying to say, we don't know the story, but the goldfish need to come out of the lake and go into a bowl, and goldfish are typically in a bowl. There's too many of them in there.
They're typically in a bowl. I don't think they were created to be in a bowl.
How many people have goldfish like in a tank? I think a bowl is more common, my guess. Anyway, we're not going to know because that one lost out. That one got a ton of votes, though. It was a lot closer than I thought.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be a sweep for the first one. It was not. First still won, but it was not a clean sweep.
Yeah, so there you go. The story you chose. We'll never talk about that poor goldfish story. Man shocked to discover source of headaches for 5 months as a pair of chopsticks inside his skull. So let's get into that story. A pounding headache led to a shocking discovery for a man in Vietnam after the source of pain was revealed to be a pair of chopsticks. So, again, let's go back to the headline. 5 months of headaches. It took him this long to figure out it was chopsticks in his skull.
But wait. Okay.
You need to hear more? There's some facts in the story you'll find out.
You can't just get a chopstick and here's the... You know what I mean?
You can't. And you're going to get there in this story to find out what happened. So, after the man experienced severe headaches for 5 months, doctors at Cuba Friendship Hospital in Dong Hoi told the 35-year-old man, by the way, that's an unusual name for a hospital in Vietnam, I guess. Cuba Friendship Hospital? I don't know.
Oh, Friendship is nice.
It is. Why is it called Cuba in Vietnam?
Well, do you think it's a hospital? Do you think it's a hospital donated, like, in the name of friendship?
By Cuba?
I don't know what their relations are like. Sorry, I'm not up on the geopolitical situation of Vietnam right now.
There's a lot of hospitals with weird names, Brian.
I know. I just don't know the relationship between Vietnam and Cuba.
Maybe it's a brand of hospital.
Oh.
Maybe there's like a,
Like Adidas?
Kinsey,
like Advocate.
that could be Kinsey's segment for tomorrow. We did weird strip club names last week. Tomorrow we can do weird hospital names.
Sure. Find some of that, Kenzie. Can you do that?
Oh, my God, fine. What else can I do for you guys? I have a true crime tomorrow, but I'll get right on the weird hospitals as well.
Can't wait for tomorrow's true crime.
Yeah.
So, doctors at the Cuba Friendship Hospital in Dong Hoi told the 35-year-old man he had a pair of chopsticks lodged inside his skull. I don't know if you ever go to the doctor and get some kind of weird news, but I can't imagine that. Hey, bro, you got chopsticks in your head.
Do you think that's what the doctor said to him? He walked in and said, hey, bro, you have chopsticks in your head?
That's the transcript. That's what it says here in the story. Yeah, hey, bro.
This is like a TLC show. I didn't know I was pregnant, but it's, bro, I didn't know I had chopsticks in my head.
That'd be a good one.
I can see season 2 coming out of that.
For sure.
So upon checking into the hospital on November 25th, a CT scan revealed the man was suffering from a rare, potentially life-threatening neurological condition that was caused by the pair of chopsticks
That'll do it.
that had allegedly gone up his nose and into his brain. He didn't know they were there.
That's not adding up.
There's more to the story, but so far that's where we're at. But then the chopsticks helped them find this rare condition he has.
It's amazing.
But they were caused by the chopsticks, right?
They were caused by it, But
So they wouldn't have had to find the rare condition.
oh, I thought it was like cancer or something. Like they found like cancer and they saved his life because of the chopstick.
He shoved a chopstick up there, and now he has a rare condition. Probably pretty rare because it's very hard to get a chopstick up there.
Well, why are they calling that a neurological condition? He had chopsticks up his nose.
Because he probably damaged nerves doing it.
Yeah, but that's not like a condition is something that's genetic or whatever, I think. I don't think of it like that. No, bro, you got chopsticks up your nose that caused your brain to almost
there
leak
you
out.
go.
That doesn't run in the family.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking when they say condition, like dandruff or something.
Is dandruff a condition?
Yes, dandruff is a condition,
You
right?
need to use conditioner to get rid of it.
Yeah, you don't need radiation. All right, so the Post reported that while the man was initially surprised at how chopsticks ended up inside his skull, he soon remembered a fight he had he was involved in while drinking exactly 5 months prior to before the headache started.
Sounds like you lost the fight.
First off, we haven't gotten all the details yet, but how much in a fight do you have to be losing to grab chopsticks and throw them up the other guy's nose to jam him up there? I mean, you're like, I'm going to lose
You're
it.
winning. The guy, he had so much time. The guy was like on the floor. He had so much time to go find chopsticks and get them both up there.
I don't know.
I would imagine he was out cold at that point, to be honest.
And then he kicked him in his nose. He shoved him in there and
Yeah.
he curb stomped the chopsticks into his nose.
Jesus.
Ow.
I think it was more of some kind of, they were both on their feet and the guy was losing.
Why doesn't he remember? Why didn't he remember, Brian? Does
He
it
had
say?
chopsticks up his nose, hitting his brain. You wouldn't remember anything after that, would you?
I don't know.
It was a condition, remember?
Has
That's
that
so
ever has that
weird.
ever happened to you, Brian, where you've been out drinking and then like you got hurt and you didn't know what it was from?
Oh, many times. Many times.
But I think you'd remember a chopstick.
I don't
That
know.
seems pretty traumatizing.
Back in my heavy Jägermeister days, I don't know if I do.
Brian
The
drinks
only
to forget.
thing that happens to me that I forget about is that, like, every time I get home, like, you know that scarf trick clowns do where it just keeps happening? Those are the receipts in my purse because I buy everyone drinks.
Yeah.
I think it's so fun. And the amount that I spend when I drink, I can't even do it. I'm like, I can't have a drink because the amount that I have spent is like rent money just buying strangers drinks that I don't remember.
Listeners, take note.
It's not good.
Kenzie will be at Twisted every night. Now, she won't be drunk.
I won't be drunk. I'm
I
pregnant.
know.
It's the most money I've ever saved.
You're very generous when drunk, is what you're saying.
It is.
Drinks
It's
are
not
on
good.
me.
We'll say that. It's not good.
I can't wait till you're not pregnant. Like the first beer is going to get you drunk, like one beer. Take out Kenzie to the
No,
bars.
my husband doesn't really let me go out alone anymore because he's like, well, we're not going to have a house. So I guess,
Yeah.
I guess I have to go with you.
I remember one time drunk, waking up in my apartment, the lights on. Back in the days when the TV would go off at 3 a.m., like they just had like static on there. And I walked outside and I had thrown up lasagna out in the front door of my apartment.
Do you remember eating the lasagna?
I did. It was really good. It was Stouffer's.
Oh,
Yeah.
God, everything you eat comes from a box.
Yeah. Well, that's where they're at in the store. They're in boxes.
Yeah, that's where food comes from, is the box.
What do you want me to do? They don't grow lasagna outside on plants, do they? Come on, Kenzie. Jesus.
Unbelievable.
All right, Brian, recap where we're at in the story just so I can be sure I follow.
Okay, so the guy had headaches for 5 months. He goes to the hospital, can't figure out what's going on. They discover he has chopsticks shoved up his nose, hitting his brain. And then he remembers, oh, yeah, I was in a fight 5 months ago while I was out drinking. So he continues on and says the patient reportedly told doctors he could not recall many details from the fight, but he did remember someone stabbing him in the face with an unknown object.
Found it. We found the murder weapon.
Oh, God. Why? So why was this headache a mystery for so long? Dude, you remembered a lot, actually. Holy crap. Oh.
Why did he go to the hospital when he remembered he got stabbed in the face?
Yeah, why did it
even?
take 5 months?
Oh my God.
Was he embarrassed?
But like I would think the bruising around like your nose and you didn't.
You thought it was allergies.
Did someone ever say, when you're eating lunch, hey, man, I think you have something up your nose. You want to wipe your nose for a second there? They're chopsticks sticking out of your nose.
Like
God.
there's no way they got all the way in there because they don't bend. So
They-
like there had to be some like in the canal.
I don't know.
You didn't feel how tough that was.
You wouldn't believe. I had deviated septum surgery one time. Well, just once. And
That is the worst. There's this one time story ever. I deviated septum surgery. I can already tell this is gonna be boring.
so what they do is they stick splints up your nose because they break your nose basically, and then they put it back together.
Yeah.
And these splints that they shove up your nose, I didn't realize till they took them out, were about 3 inches long. They went up into my nose, like way past where the nose ends, because I don't have that big of a nose.
I was gonna say I don't think it went in anywhere else besides your nose,
If you have a measuring tape, I think my nose is 2 inches. I don't think it's 3.
making Steve Carell look like a baby.
Yeah, you can't believe what you can put up your nose, like chopsticks. So
I went to the hospital for putting a pea up my nose.
yeah.
Well, my brothers kind of did it. It was a tough household, but then I couldn't. I was so young, I couldn't like. You know, like little kids don't know to like blow out,
Yeah.
right? They struggle with that. So it kept going further and further in because I was so scared that I kept breathing it in. So I had to go to the doctor, and he blew on my mouth, and it shot out of my nose when I was a little kid.
He blew in your mouth?
Yeah,
The
isn't that
doctor?
weird?
The doctor with his
Yeah.
Did he
Yeah,
he kiss you?
Like, and then the pee went shooting out of it went to the other side of the room to find it.
But
My brothers tried to kill me. They shoved vegetables in like my breathing holes.
Ugh.
Yeah,
It'd have been funny if the pee shot up his nose from blowing it into your nose.
that's disgusting. It's
Well,
not
it'd
funny.
have been
He
funny.
doesn't live in Looney Tunes land.
I know.
Not a cartoon.
And then he exploded into the air.
And then an anvil fell on Kenz's head. Acme anvil.
Oh my God.
All right, so the surgeons were able to successfully remove the chopsticks.
That's
In case you
good.
just joined us, this guy had headaches and they found chopsticks up his nose, and he seemed to remember everything about the incident. The patient was said to be in stable condition and waiting to be released from the hospital as we do this story. And it says a happy ending. But the lesson is, when you feel pain, go to the doctor then. Don't wait 5 months, especially when you remember somebody's shoving something up your nose.
The Q101 Morning Crew.
On Q101.
The Q101 Morning Crew.
On Q101.
Brian and Kenzie on Q101, and Kenzie just brought up how her older brother shoved a pea up her nose when she was a child and had to go to the emergency room to get it out because she panicked and kept sucking it up the pee more.
Well, I couldn't, I was little. I was in like high school, and you don't know how to blow out.
This wasn't last year?
So I was hyperventilating, like, and like because of that, it kept going further into.
God. And then the doctor blew in your mouth and it shot out.
Yep.
And then that's how you're here today. Otherwise,
Yeah.
you wouldn't be here.
Wouldn't make it.
It'd be a tragic tale. So I had something similar that happened just over the weekend, and I know you guys can chime in here at 312-591-8300 of the stuff that happened when you were a kid, but my first panic attack moment with my child, not a child, my child.
That's good.
Yeah, Megan was out of town this weekend in Boston, as we made clear, ran around Boston in like a onesie for a Christmas pub crawl that will hit here. T-Box will hit here in
Onesie
Wrigleyville.
looks a little different on her, huh?
A little bit.
The onesie with the butt flap in the back.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah. She's coming back today, though. But anyway, I was on baby watch, and everything was going great Friday night. And I think I'm a very, good, engaged, responsible parent in taking care of, all the business needs to get done. Saturday morning, in the middle of FaceTiming her, sitting there on the phone with Megan. See, everything's going great here. See, Harper, she's playing with her little thing here. And then all of a sudden, I looked at her foot, and she had stepped into one of her toys that had a small hole in it where you put a ball in there. And then she loves doing that. Just kind of gives her that. But her foot got in there. She got big feet, too. Harper got big feet. And I go, oh, crap. And I try to pull it out, and Megan's laughing on the FaceTime. And then all of a sudden, Harper starts screaming. And I could not get her foot out of the toy. It's a wooden box, basically. And I go, hey, let me check back with you later. I'm going to solve this situation, take care of what's going on here. And I started trying everything, and every time I tried to get her foot out, she started screaming. And I'm like, what am I going to do? Call 911, I guess, right? You got to do that. And my voice, what am I going to do, Harper? I'll save you. I'll figure it out. I'm sorry. I fell apart. I didn't know what the hell to do.
Would you just put a little oil on the outside so it'd slip off?
Well, she was wearing her little pajamas, so I don't think the cloth would have molded with the oil, would it? I don't know. I mean,
if you doused it in olive oil, it would make anything more slick. What'd you do?
So I didn't think of that, and I texted my brother Steve. I actually said, "Are you up?" And he just answered yes, which is rare. He wouldn't answer me for like 4 hours usually.
You also could have gotten it wet because it would have condensed like the fuzz on the
I don't think
onesie.
so. Her heel, she stepped into it. I think it just somehow weird contorted into it, and it was just not even close to coming out of the hole. I don't know how she got in it, But whatever.
Can I ask real quick to describe the toy again? It looked like what, like a Jack in the Box without anything in the middle? Like it was a wooden box.
Yeah, and she throws balls in that hole so she can get a good jump shot someday.
Yeah, bring a tear to your eye.
Working on that. Yeah,
Absolutely.
it's beautiful, beautiful jump shot. So I call Steve, and he starts going like, well, why is she screaming? Because her foot's in a box, man. I can't get it out. He goes like, how'd she get it in there? I go, I really got mad at my brother. I said, I do not need snarky comments right now. I need a solution. Help me. And he looks, I said, show me the box. He goes, well, there's a little seam right there. Why don't you just take a screwdriver or a hammer and knock it off there, and you can pry it open like a chisel. I go, now that's constructive. And
Oh my God, you put tools near her foot in the box?
so I
You
rolled.
couldn't even see where her foot was. You
I could see a little bit. I could see where it was a little bit.
didn't try
That's a
just
lie.
making it slippery first?
I could see it. I think I could see the foot.
Oh.
So I gave her another toy to distract her, and she was happy with that toy.
What toy did you give her?
It was actually your guitar.
chainsaw?
Nice.
Case gave
Apparently.
her this little electric guitar thing that would you buy at Walmart or something
Yeah, I
like
gave
that?
her a Gibson Les Paul.
Yeah.
It was a Fisher's Price guitar.
Yeah, and she started playing with that, and I took the hammer and the chisel, and I went like, tink, tink, and it wasn't working. I go, tink, 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 tink. Still not working, so I took a big swing.
That's a good idea. Where her foot's in the box.
And I go, bam! And the thing pried open, and she didn't even notice. She just sat there just playing with Case's guitar, little birthday present. And then I was able to finally, even then it was kind of hard, but I got her foot out of that piece of wood. And then she started crying when I still took it out because it still was kind of hard to get it out. And I hugged her. I go, I'm so sorry. I'm a terrible dad, Harper. I apologize. I'll find you a better dad. It's all over. I'll leave. Mom, you'll come
I'll
home soon.
find you a better dad. I think Megan was already working on that in Boston.
Oh my God, what a we! I feel like I aged a couple weeks in that moment. It was wild. I don't know. It's like all normal. Everybody's got a kid out there, or everybody was a kid that did something crazy, like the pea story that you had.
Peas like vegetables. You can't just say that without context.
You know, Kenzie's famous pea story.
You know,
I had a vegetable shoved up my nose by an older
you know,
brother.
when she was hanging out with R. Kelly. Remember those days?
Brian, you know I deal with a lot of rumors on this station. And I'm going to do that one. That sucks. I did not date R. Kelly.
Contrary to popular belief, I did
right.
not.
That is so annoying.
Oh, so anyway, I got out of it, and that's my first experience. I put a picture up, and everybody kept saying, like, well, this is the beginning. This is the beginning. Kids just do things, and, you know.
Kids just do
They get into trouble magically. They get stuck in places you don't know.
Can I ask you a question, Brian?
Yes.
Because you and I have the same mind. You and I immediately jump to the worst case scenario no matter what it is.
Right.
It's automatically whatever the worst possible death result could be, that's what we think of.
I thought of amputation.
That's
I said
what I
she's
was
going to be
gonna
the
ask.
one. She's going to be the one-footed girl. That's just going to.
Did you first think about either amputating the foot or her walking down the aisle at her wedding with her foot still in the box?
B.
Okay, yeah.
B. I thought that there was going to be.
Old Stumpy was going to come down the aisle.
And then there's a cast around it to hide the box to show the embarrassment. That's what I thought at this point.
But you definitely thought you had to amputate the foot at one point, right?
Oh, 1,000%.
Completely. I completely agree. I had a bump on my toe last week, and I literally spent the afternoon imagining what it was going to be like losing my pinky toe.
Whatever.
Can I just put in perspective what it's like for me to have to work here?
Yeah, sure, go ahead.
Because your daughter's foot got stuck in something. You thought her foot was gonna have to cut. I had to hear about Case's bunion for an entire week, and how he was
Right.
gonna have to get a toe off because he has a bunion.
Right.
And then I had to explain to him how health insurance works. He goes, "Do I need to bring cash to the appointment?" The amount of children I actually have is unbelievable.
Yeah.
It's exhausting.
There's a little insight into Kenzie's life working here. And
I'm
Brian.
glad she's here. It makes my life better.
Oh,
I learned I
God.
don't have to bring cash to the doctor.
I'm so tired.
I will
He
say.
actually asked you that. He goes,
No,
"You have
no.
to bring cash."
I walked into the
I'm like,
conversation.
"What's the doctor?"
Yeah. I walked into the conversation of Kenzie explaining health insurance to Case, and it was riveting.
Well, I don't know. I'm never sick. So, like, I'm glad we're in a union. We have great health insurance, but I never have to dust it off. I never have to use it. So, we have a health insurance app that I didn't know existed. So, I had to get the app to use my health insurance.
And I got like the grandpa question of, "Well, what would my login be?" I go, "I can't answer that. I don't know what your password is."
It's 1234, your birthday. It's Brian and Kenzie on Q101.
The Q101 Morning Crew.
On Q101.